Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, the channel name is Alba Stitcher, and this is a channel about cross stitch, so welcome. This is episode number 48 and today is Tuesday 25th of April. How are we at the end of April? I'm not quite sure how that's happened. So I'm back to give you a bit of an update. It has been 3 weeks since I filmed last time. And in that time, I have attended a wonderful retreat here in the West Coast, just outside Glasgow. And I have also got some stitching for you. I have a couple of finishes, some new starts and some progress on my whips. I have a stack of haul because we had arts and designs at the retreat, so obviously I had to purchase then. And then I had a few odds and odds that came in from market, and then a few other things. So I'll show the haul at the end for those that are not interested in haul. I hope you're all doing okay. Today we have another lovely day here. Not quite sure what's happening, but yep, really nice weather. It's been like that. It's cold. Don't get me wrong, it's cold. But it's nice and bright and there's no rain, and that's always a plus point in the west coast of Scotland. Trust me, really trust me. I was on a call on yesterday morning for work, and there was somebody from Hong Kong and there was somebody from the head office in the Netherlands in Rotterdam, and there was me. And those two were complaining of the rain. The woman in Hong Kong was complaining about the volume of rain and the humidity. The chap in Rotterdam was complaining about the rain, and I was like, I'll just take a picture of the lovely beautiful blue sky we've got and make you all jealous. It never happens. Normally in all the meetings, it's me complaining about the weather, but we have small wins. At the moment it is small wins. Anyway, let me get on about the stitching. Let's talk about the finishes first of all. So the first finish I want to share with you is this one here, and I actually finished this at the retreat, and this is Little House Needleworks. It's Strawberry House. This is stitched on 28 count, picture this plus, I think it's vellum, and I've added the buttons. I finished the stitching at the retreat, but I didn't put the buttons on. It needed a bit of an iron. It was all kind of crumpled up. So yep, I've now finished that, and this chart and some threads is going to wing its way to somebody else. So yep, I love stitching on this. I had seen it, it was quite old, I think it's like 2009, and I had seen it finished and I really liked it. So a little bit of hunting about and I managed to get a hold of it, and I stitched it with all the call for threads, and I got the buttons from 123 Stitch, and I chose not to put the beads on. I did get the beads, but I chose not to put them on. So that's my first finish for this video. Yeah, don't know what I'm going to do with it. I have no idea, but yeah, Strawberry House. My second finish was my Quaker of the Month. Man, I struggled with this, and it's not that I don't like it. I love it. Let's see if I can give you a good. It's a bit blown out. The colours are more noticeable than what you can see on the screen. Let me try something. Let's see if I can just dull this down a wee bit. So this is stitched on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. It's the linen. I used all the called for threads, which I think are Goldfish, Olive Branch and St. Bernard. You can't see it. You'll be thinking, oh my goodness, that's really pale, but it's not. You can see it quite clearly in real life. So I don't know, these Quakers I am loving, and I have the other ones just to remind you of what's happened so far, but they are a lot of stitching. They are really eating into my stitching time. I work, so I can't spend all day stitching, and these Quakers take up a big chunk of my month. I'm going to stick with them because I'm really enjoying them, and I'm encouraged by everyone who's sharing their progress and their finishes on the hashtag, which is hashtag Year of Quakers 2023. I'll put it all below. But when I'm finished, I'm always glad I've finished it. and then I can kind of move on. I've looked to see what May is like. May's looking good, but yeah, there's a lot of stitching. Surprisingly, I didn't have to frog as much as I thought. There was a little bit of frogging, but nowhere near as much, I think, as the January Quaker. I did lots of frogging then, but this is the April one, and I'm quite sad that you're not seeing the full effect, but in real life it is pretty. I think it's lovely, kind of watery, softly, the colours. So yeah, that's April. And for those of you that have maybe not seen the others, I mean, I do mention them every time, but here is January. Oh wait, I'll get my board. You'll never be able to see anything. Okay, so there is January, which I did tons of frogging on. There is February, which actually is, I think, my favourite. That's February. And then finally that was March, which I just finished. And then April. So that's them all. I've actually loved it. I've loved doing this SAL. I'm hoping to keep it going and finish the full year. I'm quite encouraged that we're already kind of a third of the way through, so that's quite good. So I'll keep going. Yeah, I've not got these fully finished either, but that's on my cards this month if I can get myself organised. And I did want to share with you what April was going to look like. I have the Leaning Tower next to me of all the stuff. It's really Hall. Hall's got away from me this time. So this is April. No, this is May. My goodness, I've done April. Let me take this out. So this is May. And the threads, I've got the fabric here and the threads. These are the threads. I've just dropped all that. And this is the fabric that I'm going to do it on. So these are much brighter than the April. Looks really nice. So it's pickled beets, camouflage and lemongrass, and this is platinum. I'm going to do it on platinum. So yeah, I'm all ready to rock and roll when the time comes. Alba's around somewhere. I don't know if she'll show up, but she is around. I'm in here on my own today. Hang on. On my own. So she might show up if she gets bored. Okay, so what else have I been stitching on? Let me go. I think I've forgotten one as well. So I will maybe need to pause and go and get it. I don't see it here in the pile. So I started this SAL for Kindred Spirits. It's a Teresa Kogut chart that was released at Market, and Karen from Weedy Flower Creations started the SAL, which is Kindred Spirits SAL. So I jumped on the bandwagon, and here is my progress. Now there's a lot of stitching in this. I complain about my Quakers, but there is a lot of stitching in this. But I'm really enjoying it actually. I only stitched on this on a Tuesday, and I used the hashtag, obviously the Kindred Spirits SAL and hashtag Teresa Tuesday. So if anyone else is stitching on a Teresa Kogut chart, if you want to join in the hashtag, it means we can share our progress, which is always quite encouraging. And as you can see, I'm in no rush here. So if you've not already picked up the chart, but you like it and you think you'd like to join in on the SAL, then please do. Please do, because they're lovely charts. In fact, I really like the aesthetic of Teresa Kogut. I've said it before. I really like it, but there's a lot of stitching in these. I've really enjoyed it, and it's all stitched in DMC, which is great. And yeah, I just stitch on when I've got my stitching time on a Tuesday, so it's never lots of hours, but it's always something. So yeah, that's my progress on Kindred Spirits. And actually I've got a real there's another chart very like this that I've seen, which I might try and get a hold of. So yeah, that was my progress on Kindred Spirits. And then, let me see what's next. So when I was at the stitching retreat, and I'll link the Facebook group down below if you want to join it, I decided I wanted to have a new start, and I had shown this chart, I think, fairly recently. I think it was fairly recent. I'll just take it out of the bag so that you can see it. And it was this chart here by Autumn Lane Stitchery, which is Serena Sprout. And I think for me the attraction was the colours. I was interested in doing something a little bit brighter in the springtime. I do a lot of Halloween, not always dark, but a little bit dark stitching. So I just wanted something a bit brighter. So when I saw this chart, I kitted it up. It's all kitted up in DMC. And here is my start and my progress so far. So this fabric is Chromatic Alchemy Aspen, and it was part of the Advent box. Words escaped me. The Advent box from I think 2 years ago, so it might have been Christmas 2021. And I had all the fabrics. I hadn't used any of them, but I've managed to find a purpose for one of them, which is great. So this is Serena Sprout, and as you can see, I'm only just working on her face. I'm probably going to go up and finish off her hat and then come back down and do the bust kind of area, and then I can decide where I want to go next. I might go up to the top and do this kind of flourish here so that I can get that in. But yeah, again, there's no likelihood of a finish anytime soon, but I want to try and get some stitching done on this over the next week or so. So yeah, I also stitched on that. But when I was at the retreat, as I say, Arts and Designs had I'll just put this back in here. Arts and Designs had a little pop-up shop, and they've done it before. The last couple of retreats that I've been at there, they've had the pop-up shop, and it's very tempting. It's very tempting. I've never been to a needle workshop. There's maybe plans to do something soon, but it's so nice just to see the charts in real life. I also bought some fabric, which I would never have bought just looking at it online. And then they had this chart, and this was a little bit of a delayed, I think, purchase for me. I had seen it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get that one. And it's this one here by Ink Circles, which I believe was a market release. So it's Ink Circles called Assorted Sorts, and obviously anybody will recognise the Licorice All Sorts there. And for me, what spoke to me about this chart is, first of all, this for me is very much like stitching. See, if you are in a group with stitchers, you all stitch different things. Some people are into full coverage, some people are into samplers, reproductions, some people are into modern, snarky, dark stitching. We all like something different. And for me, that's something to be celebrated, not something that we should shy away from. We don't want everyone stitching all the same stuff. And maybe that's the joy of this hobby as opposed to some other hobbies, that depending upon your taste, depending upon what you like, you can get a chart or a project that will suit you. And I just really, really like this one. I've posted on Instagram my progress, and some people were like, well, that's unusual and that's not like you. But I really wanted to kind of celebrate all the differences. At the retreat, there was a lot of people working on full coverage. I don't do full coverage. I've tried, didn't go well for me. That's not to say I won't try again, but it also doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the hard work that goes into full coverage, because that's a tremendous amount of patience working through those projects. So I picked this up on the last day. It was the Sunday. I came home, rifled through my fabric and threads to see what I had. And I had what I thought was quite a good fabric, which I'll show you. And I think I had most of the threads. There was only one or two I didn't have. And this is my progress so far. It takes all sorts. And at the moment I'm on the sweetie hunt. So I'm stitching up all the candy, which is great. So yeah, I really, really like it. This fabric, I'm not quite sure where I got it from. It's a Pole Stitches fabric. 28 count, I think it's bouquet. Yeah. And these are the called for over dyes. If I was doing this one again, I probably wouldn't use the over dyes. You see very little of the variegation. There is some in the yellow, but in general, the DMC conversion I think would have been good enough. So yeah, I've got a little bit to do, but not too much. I'm kind of getting to the centre part of the sweeties, so I'm hoping to have that finished. And my plan would be to finish this as a pillow, and I'm going to use the Licorice Lady Dot Creates chenille or pom-poms. I'm sure I've got one of them, and that's how I want it finished. So yeah, and just to show you maybe that fabric a little bit maybe better, this is the other half of the fabric. So it wasn't a huge bit I had. Goodness knows where I got it from. But this is the fabric. And I just thought that suited that project really well because it's all the kind of colours that are in that. Maybe I didn't choose well. Maybe I should have chosen the other half of the fabric. It's maybe a bit brighter. But yeah, so that's what I have left. And that's the call for over dyes. But as I say, next time I would probably use the DMC. Not that there's likely to be a next time, but that's the colours. So yeah, that was my retreat start, but one that I purchased at the retreat. I didn't start it there at all. Okay, so that's my stitching so far. So far, that's my stitching. Let me put this in here. Let me talk about haul. I have a lot of haul, and I know some people don't like haul, so I hope you've enjoyed what you've watched. But yeah, I like haul. I like collecting stuff. I like getting the new stuff. I like kind of rummaging around looking for older charts that are maybe out of print. I've got a couple of different batches of haul here. I'll maybe do my retreat haul first. People might like that. So the first thing is we had the opportunity to pre-order some project bags. So I obviously pre-ordered one. I had forgotten. And it's got beautiful embroidery there. And it's got your name. And it's finished with a lovely thistle fabric. I've not used it yet. I should actually put my retreat project in there. But yeah, it's a great vinyl front project bag. And I bought the little notions pouch as well. And that's the notions pouch. So that was one of my purchases from the retreat. And in my opinion, it's great. It was well worth the money. Shells patch on Facebook, I believe. That was where you can purchase these. And then, as you know, I sometimes go to a little stitchy day in Ayr, which is down the coast from me. And sorry if I keep budging the table. And but some people in the group, they have these project cases. Not necessarily in this fabric, but in different designs. And I was a little bit envious. I was, because when I went to purchase one the last time, there was none left. So when I went to the retreat this time and I saw that Julia brought them, I decided I needed to have one. So this is going to be my little case for my projects when I go on my retreats or whether I go on my stitchy days. These are available from Arts and Designs. I purchased this one. I never got it free. They can be a little bit pricey. They're a little bit pricey, so depending on what people's budgets are. But this is the larger of the two. There is a smaller case as well. So this is what it looks like. I've now sprayed this with Scotch Guard because knowing me, I'll have this filthy after one day out. But that's my little project case that I purchased from Arts and Designs. They do them in kind of floral fabrics and all different things. I mean, they're not they're not like a case. They're like a case, but they're not sturdy like a case. These are obviously cardboard sides. But yeah, so I bought that. And that was purely because everyone else had one and I wanted one. Also, when I was there, I purchased some fabric. So I picked up this piece of fabric flare, it is. And this was Cloud Guardian Angel. Let's see if you can see this colour. I don't know if you will be able to see it. Oh, well, you can a little bit. You can see it's kind of got blues and pinks in it. And I just really like the softness of it. So I picked that up. But it's the fabric flare, so it's printed. It's only printed on one side. So yeah, I picked that up, which I was quite pleased about. Maybe I should like that. It might be quite good. And Karen, who was at the retreat, got to the fabric stash before I did. And she picked up a few pieces that I will purchase after seeing them. But they did have quite a large Pearman range. So I picked up this piece of Pearman. Don't know if you can really see. Well, it's a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably more like it. It's called Clay Barn Grey. That's 32 count. And it just comes like this. So that's it, Pearman. So I picked up that. And then I picked up this little chart. And I had seen this chart already. Which is by Sweet Wing Studios. And this one's just called A Little Spring. Quite like it. Might be on my radar to start soon. Although I don't know. I've got so much. There's just so much good stuff out there. I'm generating quite a lot of proppable whips. But I don't have the inclination to slow down. There's just so much. In particular, there's a couple of charts here that I've purchased that I don't know if I can hang off. But this one's not too big. It's 88 by 56. So, yeah, I like that one. That was why I bought it. Obviously, everything I buy is because I love it. So that was all I bought at the retreat. I did buy, I think, a couple of gifts for people, but that was really what I purchased. I'm just going to move this because I think I keep nudging it. But there was other stuff that I'd ordered before I went on my retreat. So I ordered this. It's not a market release. And this is by Hello from Liz Mathews, and it's called Winter Garden. And I saw this finished on Instagram, and I really liked the kind of delicateness of it. Yeah, I really like that. It's charted, my goodness, words are difficult, in Gloriana, but I will do the DMC conversion, and it's 161 by 105. I'll probably do it on maybe a 36 count. I've joined a fabric club, which I'll share with you. So yeah, that was that one. I also picked up the Blackbird design book that was released at market, Crowns and Shields. There's some beautiful designs in this one, particularly like this red one. Okay. I also purchased, this is not a market release, it's Kate Adkin by Heartstring Samplery. So this red sampler, I really like it. It's done in 2 threads. I'll probably just do it in one. It's 132 by 120, 112, I think. So I really like that. Yeah, it's really cute. Carrying on with my red theme, I purchased this one here by Mojo Stitches, and this is a market release, which I really like. It's actually stitched in cottage garden threads, and as you know, I do have some, so maybe I can stitch this in the cottage garden threads. If not, I might just go with one variegated floss. I really like that. I then picked up this one. It's not a market release. Let me think. It's quite old, 2017, and this is called Sampler Stitchers. Sorry, I really like that one, and that's by Little House Needleworks. and the size of this one is 125 by 116. So none of these are particularly huge, but the problem is I start 45 projects and don't get any finished, so I need to try and finish some of them before I keep gung-ho buying more and starting more. I then picked this one up, and I've kitted it up, so I had some of them, but this was also, I think, a market release. And this is by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and this one's called Tulip House, and I was particularly drawn to the colour of the house, so I picked this one up. I'm just trying to see, it's 139 by 113, so it's not particularly huge, but lovely colour palette on it. Let me just show you them, some of these colours. I didn't have, even though I've got such an extensive stash, I didn't have everything, so I did have to go and purchase a couple. That's what the colour palette looks like for this one. So it's lovely. And then another one that I purchased, which I think was also a market release. This was not a market release, sorry, this is 2022, so it's not a market release. Was this one here, which is Summer Garden at Cranberry Manor, which I absolutely love, and its colour palette is just as delicious. And I don't know if you get just cross stitch. I access it through the Readily app, and Laurie from Pansy Patch also had a chart in there in the most recent one, which I'm going to do. So I've got all the threads, so my plan is to try and get that one started. I can't show you because it's not printed out, and that's that threads. And I think, oh no, there's something else hiding underneath here that was a market release, and it's this one here, which is Annie B's Folk Art, the Bluework Pears. The red work pears I've tried to get a hold of, but they're all sold out, but I quite like the blue ones anyway. So these are really nice. Okay, and that's all my charts that I've purchased. So I know a lot. Next time there's not going to be a lot. Next time I'm not going to have everything. But I've also managed to get 2 months, because I forgot last time to show you the threads of the month that I get from Cottage Garden Threads. So I'm just going to try and show you 5 and then 5. So as you know, I joined a club for the Cottage Garden Threads. This is by Poppy Patch, and which is a quilting shop, I think, in the UK. So I joined their thread of the month, and I've actually not used any of the threads, so I need to try and make a concerted effort to start utilising these threads, because I've got quite a box now. That red box there is full of them. So that was 1 month, and then I received another month because I forgot. Let me show you these. I'm not going to go through all the names, I'm just showing you them so you have an idea if anybody decides they want to join the club, or if there's a particular colour they want. Yeah, well, that's bad. Amanda, show better. Practice your skills for holding multiple cards of floss. So yeah, some of them are quite highly variegated, but some of them less so. You know, like this one's highly variegated, but obviously this blue one's less so. So yeah, some great colours there. Then you might remember in my previous video I had talked about Charlie Feathers, who does floss rings, and floss drops on rings, and she had another sale. I missed the owl ones, but it's okay. I can survive without the owl ones. So these are all handmade. She uses kind of gel paints, and I won't show you them all, but I just wanted to give you an idea. You buy them like this with the ring. It's nice and clear in my opinion, because you've got the big hole for most of your skein, and then you've got the small hole for your extras, and there's also a bit on the back, a little tab that you can write your colour. and I just think her artistry is very good. It's a little bit refreshing for me. These were all, in my opinion, well worth it. That's me now got a couple of sets. These are the larger sets. If you remember the last time, it was a smaller set that I got. But yeah, some of them are very kind of artistic. There's a real little picture there, and some of them are more like designs. But these are great. I really like them. It's nice to support someone who's doing something a little bit different, a little bit creative. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. She does the sales through Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, please go and follow her, and then you can see when the next sale is. And if this is your kind of cup of tea, then you'll see plenty of lovely designs there. But yeah, they're really, really nice. And I know I said I wasn't going to show you them all, but I have, just so you can get an idea of what she does. Just a couple more. They are real eye candy, I think. Okay, so Charlie Feathers for your floss drops. I have been watching some Flosstube. I watch quite a lot of Flosstube. I don't always comment, and I very rarely take note of who I've watched, but I made an effort in the last couple of weeks, I'll put that there, to write down who I've been watching. I've had a little binge on British Flosstubers. So the 4 people I'm going to mention are all based in the UK. None of them have been going so long, but they've all got a fair number of videos up and about. So the first one I'm going to mention is Charlie, obviously from Charlie Feathers, and it's Stitches with Charlie Feathers. I am referring to my notes here. I thought before my mind could remember everything, but I've found out my mind remembers nothing. Also Natalie at Home Sweet Home Handmade. Then there's Sally at Sally Flossy Sews and Grows, and then Ross at Ross Clark Crafts. I'll link them all below. They're all a little bit different. They all do different stuff. Ross dabbles a little bit in designing as well, so there might be something there that's your aesthetic. But I would say all of them have similar tastes to me. But I have quite wide taste, so probably most people kind of like the stuff that I like. But yeah, please go and check them out. Show them a bit of Flosstube love. They're all really kind of enjoyable to sit and watch. The final thing I've got is I've got a little bit of a giveaway. You may remember, and I'm sure I have shown you, that Pauline from Sobe Bags makes these wonderful project bags, and I've got a few now. It's not like I've only got one. I've got like maybe 3 or 4 or 5. And I had asked her particularly for this size. I really like this size. It kind of suits the projects that I have. So she came back to me and she said, yeah, I can do you one. And then she came back and said, well, I had fabric left for 2. This is what I've got. And I said, all right, okay. I'll just take both of them. I'll take both of them and I'll use one as a giveaway. And then Sally replied to me to say, let me gift you one as a giveaway. And that's exactly what we have. So this is the one that I use, or one of them. And this is the one which is the giveaway. And this is the Blackbird Design fabric. The attention to detail, can I just show you her zipper pulls, the little bit of lace trim. This one has ticking in the inside. So this is the giveaway. Let me just check what's on the inside of this one. It's the spots. Let me just show you. So sometimes they have the spots, the ticking, whatever it is. This is the one I'm giving away. So this was kindly given to me by Pauline. I didn't purchase it, but that was my plan, was to buy it, to give it away. Let me think. My goodness, here words are difficult. Let us make the word. Oh my goodness, this is difficult. Yeah, let me make the word spring. Okay, so use the word spring in your comment and you'll be entered into the giveaway to win this project bag. I might put a few goodies in it. I'll ship internationally. What I ask is that you don't, I would like you to subscribe, but some people don't like subscribing, so I respect your decision not to subscribe. But it's always nice if you subscribe and like the video. I'll search for the word spring. Please be over 18 so that you can give me your postal address. As I say, I'll post internationally. Please don't use any of the kind of giveaway or words like that in your comment, and I will draw in my next video, which will be in a couple of weeks time, 2 or 3 weeks depending. But yeah, what a beautiful project bag. It's a lovely giveaway, so if you're interested, use the word spring in your comment. I wanted to say a little thing about the retreat, if anyone's interested. So I'm part of 2 Facebook groups. One is the Scottish Stitching Retreat Facebook group. I'll link it down below. If you're interested, you should certainly join the Facebook group. We do have the date for the next retreat, which is in November. And I'm also part of Scottish Cross Stitchers, which is a smaller group, but the plan is people can maybe set up and run their own kind of stitchy day. If that's something that you think you would be interested in, then please join that Facebook group as well, and you might find something's going to be arranged closer to maybe where you stay. I think that's all for today. I'm sure there was something else I wanted to tell you, but yeah, it's escaped me. I'm sorry Alba didn't come to join us. She's actually been a little bit ill this last week, so we'll see how she is. Actually, I think she's much better. There's really nothing. She was just maybe a little bit of the cold, maybe. Lots of sneezes. Lying, sleeping on my bed a lot of the time, so yeah. Anyway, I think that's it. I don't really have much of another update, life update. Life is life. We'll need to go on with it. But the sun is shining, and that's the most important thing. So I hope you're all well. I'll see you in a few weeks' time. Please, yeah, be kind, stay safe, and enjoy your stitching. Okay, bye-bye.